My name is Sophie Drake. I'm a PR account executive for a company called Storycoms. The PR industry is quite a diverse industry to get into because there's so many different aspects to it, different sectors and different parts of the industry that you can work in. But predominantly I found that it's not how you know about PR and what you know. Generally it's about who you know and how good you are at talking to people, getting to know them, and then opportunities open up and one comes after another. As soon as they start coming in with PR, you get an opportunity based on who you know, really. It's cliche to say that, but it's true. The realities of sometimes speaking to journalists when you're new in the industry is a bit difficult. It'll always be something a bit scary and a bit daunting, and I'll never forget one of the first times I ever phoned around a business story for my first company that I worked for, and I rang a particular trade journalist who worked for a general run-of-the-mill publication. It wasn't a very high-profile publication, but I rang him and I asked him if he'd received my press release and gave him a little bit of a detail, and he stopped me in my tracks and he was like, "I haven't got it." And I was like, "Oh, sorry." And he was like, "Well, what are you going to do about it then?" And I was like, "Oh, I'll send it to you again." And he was like, "Of course you're going to send it to me again. Now stop wasting my time." And then he swore at me and hung up. So I'll never forget that moment. But I think that's always something that you get used to as a PR professional. That was one of my only ever negative experiences, and I've worked in PR now for 3 years. So you get those odd occasions, but you have to understand that they're busy and that you're busy and you're both trying to do something, and you kind of clash in the middle sometimes. And especially with that memorable experience, it kind of taught me to be a little bit more to the point, a little bit more ballsy with how I speak to people, rather than just being like, "Oh, sorry, hello, have you got this?" You just need to be like, "Oi, I've sent you an email, did you get it? If you haven't, I'll send it again." That's it. PR is quite a demanding industry to work in. The hours aren't just 9 to 5 like people would assume. Stories come in the evening, stories come in the morning, but to beat the media in the morning you have to be up earlier to find those stories and respond to things that are coming out. There is such a diverse range of PR that some people can be working internally for a small company and doing the really basic PR work, which won't involve the high-profile, high-costing events or the big profile of clients and the meetings and the coffees and the dinners. Other stuff like working with the clients on a day-to-day basis, speaking to people all the time, even the little bits and bobs like going for a coffee with a client and really trying to pull out some interesting facts about them. Those are really good things because it's like investigating. People think that PR people don't generally work as hard as they do, because on the outset of shows like Absolutely Fabulous and Sex and the City, they kind of portray PR as a little bit of a joke. But the reality of it is that even the people that are going to those corporate dinners and they're going to those big events and the glamorous things, they're probably wearing flat shoes all day, running around behind the scenes, working hard, writing stories, talking to the media, and then it comes to 10 minutes before the event and they slip on those heels and they put on a brave face for the audience. Picking the best part of my job is really hard because I do love it very much. I think when you do a good media relations story and you sell that in, I think putting all the coverage together at the end of a week is brilliant because you feel like you've really achieved something because it's there. So many people I've worked with in PR, they love it when someone contacts them and says, "I know you're not hiring right now, but this is what I can offer to you as myself." And also, don't be afraid to go for things that you might not necessarily know how to do just yet. Be confident in yourself as well, because you need to really believe in it. And if you don't, if you don't know something, learn it before you have to go there. There's always great things. And then also, make sure that you just enjoy talking to people, because if you're not in this industry to talk to people, you won't go very far.